The Minecraft world record you're watching right now is said to be impossible to break. You see, up until about a month and a half ago, the Minecraft bridging world record was said to be at a human limit of 3.9 seconds. However, in late April, when doogile finally broke this record with a time of 3.85, he made a particularly strong statement.
I don't know if anyone will ever beat 3.8, or if that's even humanly possible.
And even though 3.8 was considered to be possible, there were no players in the community capable of doing the strategy that would achieve it. And it would require the return of one of the greatest and most advanced bridges in all of Minecraft history to achieve what most consider to be the human limit of Minecraft bridging. Ever since telly bridging became the fastest bridging method, players have been trying all kinds of different ways to make it even faster. By far the biggest and most obvious example of this is the speed telly, which to this day is still the fastest bridging method in Minecraft. Actually, the Andromeda bridge. And after speed telly bridging became very popular, eventually players started doing tapped speeds, which save a single tick for each speed telly done. At this point, the world record on mcplayhd's short mode was a mere 4.0 seconds, with players completely lost on how to progress any further than this. Yet, somehow, less than a year later, the time has dropped all the way down to 3.8. Now, this time difference of 0.2 seconds is of course very minimal, but for bridgers, this is a huge time gap. You see, Minecraft is measured on a timing system called ticks, where each tick is 1/20th of a second, aka 0.05 seconds. The whole concept of speed telly bridging, or more specifically tap speeds, is that they utilize every single tick to be about as efficient as you can possibly get. And once every tick was being utilized for jumping, turning, or placing blocks, the only thing that determined a change in a player's time was their momentum. I'll let crimssel go more in depth about momentum later in the video, but what you need to understand is that for the most part, players focused on maintaining their momentum with tap speed tellies, and trying to gain momentum with them was something that wasn't really heard of. The biggest thing, however, that impacted this world record to go from 3.85 to 3.8 is something called the 1.05 4-block. A 4-block is the most advanced way to start off a telly bridge, and requires the player to turn around and place 4 blocks in a flat line before landing on them and jumping into a speed telly. But the thing that most advanced bridgers do to check that their 4 blocks are correct is when they fall in the void after one, they check the time it took them before they respawned, and in most cases the time shown on the right side of your screen will be 1.1 seconds. The vast majority of leaderboard bridgers all do 1.14 blocks, minus a very small group of 2 players who are capable of doing 1.05s. These 2 players are crimssel and zyqt, but out of the 2, crimssel is far more well known for being able to do this, and he is of course the player that got 3.8. The biggest issue, if you remember my video I made about this previously, is that there was no active players in the community capable of doing the 1.05 because, well, crimssel had kind of stopped playing altogether. However, while it's very common for bridgers to take breaks, it's even more common that when they come back, they're better than they ever were before, and with crimssel this was not an exception. Once crimssel came back, he was quickly able to recreate all the skills he'd been able to do previously, which of course included the 1.05, except upon his return he also brought a completely new strategy for how to do speed tellies. We know that speed tellies are a great way to retain your momentum while bridging, but crimssel had discovered a way to increase your momentum as you went on with the bridge. Upon finding out this strategy, crimssel decided to turn off the keystrokes on all of his clips so that no player could figure out what he was doing for a while. He claimed the reason for this was that he wanted to test other bridgers to see if they could figure out what he was doing without him telling them anything. But once some bridgers started to get a little too close, specifically doogile, he decided it was time to reveal the strategy. The strategy he was using to gain all this momentum with his tap speeds was something that players are now calling a full turn speed telly. But who better to explain this than crimssel himself? Okay, before we jump into the interview, really quick, if you aren't subscribed and you are enjoying the video this far, please do consider subscribing. Okay, back to the video. I know with the new world record you have a new strategy you've been using for speed momentum. Could you just explain that really quickly?
So you pretty much just press A when you press W and D. So then you can hold W longer, and then you get more momentum.
And is that something you kind of just, how did you figure that out on your own?
So I did it on accident once, and then I saw the keystrokes. I didn't really do it for a while, but then in a couple of months, I just tried it, and then I could do it easily.
So it was kind of just stumbled upon it and realized, oh, I actually have a world record strat now. That's sick. So I guess now that you know you have this new strategy, do you have a specific time that you think is the human limit for bridging?
3.75 is probably going to be possible. 3.7, I don't know, maybe.
So now that you have the world record on short, do you have big plans to take over normal mode as well?
Not really, I don't really care about normal. I mean, I'll probably get 7.35 or something, but I don't really care.
Just casually. I'll probably get to do something. So 3.7 is technically possible?
Yeah, but you have to do 1.05 flat, do a 4 block speed out right after that, and then gain so much momentum, and then you have to do predator.
Yeah, that's unreal. Well, you heard it here first, 3.7 might be humanly possible. At the end of my last video, 3.8 was looking like it would be the human limit, and now about 2 months later, we're looking at a completely different time barrier. Regardless, the current world record is still of course 3.8, and hopefully now you understand exactly how that world record was achieved. And with that being said, if you did enjoy the video, please do consider subscribing, join the Discord down in the description, and I will see you guys soon. Goodbye.